Hey, Matt from Savaria Studios here today, and we're going to talk about A, B, C, and D markets. A, B, C, and D markets are how managers and promoters and booking agents kind of label the different markets you might play on a given tour. And then they kind of use that to help establish what the routings are going to be, where they're going to need to go, how much money we're going to make, how much money we can ask for, and all that kind of stuff. So basically, quick rundown, an A market is a major city with a large music-going population. So we're talking Austin, LA, New York, as well as a few smaller cities that have just strong music cultures like Portland, for example. And then a B market is kind of a secondary city, like 300,000 to 800,000 people, maybe not as much money going on, so we're talking about somewhere like Sacramento or Omaha, where it's a little bit off the beaten path, but still people and still like an audience. Some B markets too can be like, for rock and metal, Philly and Atlanta are basically B markets because there's very low attendance just as a general rule in those places. So then you move on to your C markets, which are like, big towns like Spokane in Washington or Salem in Oregon, where it's, there's people there, but it's not ideal. And then finally you have D markets, which are just like tiny towns or college towns on the off season. So there's when it just becomes a ghost town. So a D market is just middle of nowhere, like random venue, usually has a weird name. So I'm talking like Montclair, New Jersey, where we used to have the Meat Locker, or like Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where there's a venue called like Skullfucker or something, I can't remember. Cool spot. I Hate God played there the other day. The point I'm trying to make is, so you have these A, B, C, and D markets, and when you route a tour, obviously you want to primarily be playing A and B markets, but there's a lot of reasons to play C's and D's, and you kind of need to think about these things, because in an A and B market, if you want your average guarantee to be, say, $500, in an A market you can probably push and try to get $750. In a B, you're probably going to get around $500, but then in a C or a D, you're going to get like $250 or maybe a door deal. That's just how it is. If there's not people, they're not just going to lose their ass because they like your band. They're booking shows all the time. However, there's a lot of good reasons to play C's and D's, like if you want to have a short drive one day. For example, great example is if you're about to cross a border. So Seattle to Vancouver, kind of a long drive, especially with the border cross, right? But if you go Seattle, then you play Bellingham, for example, which is right at the Canada border, then it makes your tour a lot less stressful, and it kind of gives you a night to chill and maybe do something a little more experimental with your set if there aren't as many people there. That being said, a lot of these C and D markets, especially in more rural areas, if you're playing there on a Friday night, you're the only thing to do in that town on a Friday night. And so you're going to get a ton of people outside your normal demographic. Like if you're a metal band, you're just going to get a ton of like dads who like Led Zeppelin, because they don't have anything else to do. They hate their wives. What are they gonna do? Fucking go get drunk at home? I mean, yeah. But they also, if they want to go out, they're probably gonna go to your thing. Which is why, depending on the tour for certain bands, I kind of like to have a Friday or a Saturday night in the C. Because like New York City, you're gonna have people even if you play on a Monday or a Tuesday, because it's New York fucking City. You know what I mean? So that's just something to keep in mind, I think. The other important thing to remember is radius clauses. With a radius clause, with certain tours, they basically don't want you to play within a certain distance of a city within like 90 days. So maybe if you're opening up for, Slayer, they don't want you to play within 100 miles of any given city within 90 days, but your band wants to go on tour again. So maybe you can skirt around those regulations, right, by playing some smaller cities, but you can stay on tour. See what I'm saying? By the same token, maybe if you're like touring out, maybe to go to a festival or something and then have a bigger tour coming up that you really want to focus on, you play some smaller markets then too, because you don't want to oversaturate, because again, oversaturation is death for every band. Anyway, thank you so much for watching whatever that video just was. I think they're probably going to put these on randomly. Maybe not. Maybe I just look like an idiot and everyone in the studio is laughing at me right now. like and share, or do whatever positive thing is on the platform you are viewing it on. I'm not really good at YouTube, so maybe it's like a... so, you know, and there'll be links to other videos probably around here somewhere. We're putting one out every week over the summer and probably going on, so, you know, yes, thank you.